What not to do when it comes to getting started with trading.
I'm just a bit in shock and outraged for these people that it's happened to.
There is definitely some pitfalls people unfortunately fall into. Over 10 years now, can't believe how old I am, but over 10 years of doing this, I unfortunately have heard quite a few horror stories. Trading is not get rich quick. It does make you very, very wealthy if you follow the correct principles like we do at STARTrading, but it's not going to be a get rich quick thing. You're not going to turn £100 into £10,000 in the space of a week. That's not how this works.
People want really quick wins,
Yeah.
and that should just be a red flag.
Follow the process, do the testing, make sure you understand the strategy, and then you can expect exceptional returns. Hello and welcome to the STARTrading podcast with me, Lewis.
And me, Sophie.
And on today's episode, we are going to be looking at what not to do when it comes to getting started with trading. How's your week been?
Yeah, good, thank you. I've had a busy week. I actually have been in London a lot this week.
Okay.
I saw two things.
Yeah.
I saw Edward Scissorhands
Okay.
in the medium of dance, Matthew Bourne.
At the theatre?
Yeah.
Not just walking around the streets?
No,
Okay.
it was a dance production.
Amazing.
Do you know Matthew Bourne?
No.
He's this amazing choreographer, and he's done an all-male Swan Lake. He's done Edward Scissorhands. He's just amazing. Just go and see everything he does.
Cool.
And I also saw Everybody's Talking About Jamie, which was so good. Like laughing, crying, all the
Of
feelings.
it, all the emotions, yeah. Much like trading, all the emotions, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
How's your week been?
My week has been brilliant. I've been recovering a little bit because we came back from our South Africa trip, our trade and travel trip, which was absolutely insane, absolutely wonderful. Saw the sights, drank a bit too much wine. Not that everybody at STARTrading drinks, but I do. So I had a fantastic time. It was brilliant. Yeah.
I'm very gutted that I couldn't make that one.
Yeah.
But we have another one planned, right?
We do indeed, yes. So our next trade and travel trip is going to be Morocco at the start of October. So yeah, I know I've already sneaked you the pictures of the accommodation.
Yeah.
It is looking
It looks amazing.
rather lovely.
So
yeah.
big Airbnb,
Big Airbnb.
pool,
Yeah.
food,
camels, even thrown in a massage. Not from me. I think that would be inappropriate. But yeah, there is going to be like a spa on site where people can have massages and stuff too. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And trading, bit of
Trading together during the week, and then on the Friday night we've got a big old party, which we're calling the market close party because obviously markets close on a Friday. And yeah, we're gonna have a great time. I don't want to tell you everything because we've got some surprises planned, particularly for that party, which is going to be really, really good fun.
Cool. And October, we're saying?
That's early October, yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And how many spaces are there?
Only 28.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's very much a limited.
Let's go.
limited
Let's
trip,
book in,
yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about what not to do when trading or starting your trading journey. So I want to hear all the horror stories and what we can avoid when we're getting into it.
Yeah, there is definitely some pitfalls that people unfortunately fall into, and over 10 years now, can't believe how old I am, but over 10 years of doing this, I unfortunately have heard quite a few horror stories. I would probably say the biggest one that I've heard of that upsets me the most is people who give their money to other people to trade on their behalf, and that money just disappears, goes absolutely nowhere, and that tends to obviously be a scam. So I want people to avoid those. One of the things which we are very strict on within STARTrading is people need to know what they're doing with their trading. We are empowering it to do it for themselves. And if you just hand your money over to somebody without knowing the process they're following, not even knowing how they protect your capital or what strategies they're trading and what those strategies are based on, or even what the history of that strategy is, then you're leaving yourself open to being scammed and losing money, and that's the opposite of what we want. People should get into trading because they want to generate capital, right? That's why I got into it, so I could travel and make money anywhere. And so if you're just handing your money over to somebody else, that's not empowering. And we are all about empowerment at STARTrading, so we want to make sure people avoid that.
Yeah, I'm just a bit in shock and outraged for these people that it's happened to. So these people must be really good salespeople.
Incredible salespeople.
I'm a great trader. Give me your money. I'll triple it or whatever.
Yeah,
and then it just disappears.
Just disappear. Yeah. So they very rarely present themselves as an individual trader. They're often from an organisation that does this with their expert traders of blah 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 blah, which all sounds lovely. It basically is. I call it kind of the magic pill of the trading world. Whereas in the fitness world, it's, I'll take this magic pill and you'll lose weight and you'll gain all the muscle in the world and you'll be body beautiful in a week. It's kind of like that, but in trading. And unfortunately, trading is not get rich quick. It does make you very, very wealthy if you follow the correct principles like we do at STARTrading, but it's not going to be a get rich quick thing. You're not going to turn £100 into £10,000 in the space of a week. That's not how this works. So the way that these scam artists tend to present themselves is working on behalf of a broker. It's an investment thing. You put your money in, and then you are guaranteed certain returns. You can't ever guarantee returns, but they guarantee returns. They then ask you to put your money into a particular account. You do that. It tends to be offshore, which should be the first red flag. And a little tip here for people: if you are looking at a broker, you're looking at some form of investment thing, go to their website. Legally, on the website, they have to say where they're based. So if, number one, they don't have an address on their website, major red flag, like major red flag. The second one is if their address is not in the UK, not in the USA, not in a financially regulated country, so it's maybe offshore in Cyprus or the Bahamas, that again is a big red flag. So if it's not got an address, or the address is some random country that isn't properly SCA regulated, then you want to avoid.
Yeah, that means you can't chase it or claim it back. Or
Correct, yeah. Unfortunately, because there has been a lot of people pretending to be me online, I do know of people who've been conned out of literally tens of thousands of pounds by people pretending to be me and going to trade on their behalf, because they want that get rich quick, someone doing everything for them, which doesn't tend to work. I've never seen it work, unfortunately. So what I would say is an additional step to stay safe is jump on a call. Jump on a Zoom call. If they're not willing to be on a Zoom call with you where you can see their face and see how they operate, then don't do it. That's a very good way to hand over your money to the wrong person, is if you've not even spoken to them. So make sure you're doing that. So long-winded answer to, do not just hand your money over to somebody else to do it for you if you don't understand how they're doing it, you don't actually know who they are, and if they're operating outside of a financially regulated zone.
It's super risky, isn't it? And it all comes down to like the instant gratification, really quick kind of culture that we're in. The people want really quick wins.
Yeah.
And that should just be a red flag. Like that is, you're definitely going to get burnt.
Yeah. Yeah. If it sounds too good to be true, it often is.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that because sometimes people think that what we do at STARTrading sounds too good to be true. But the reality is it still takes work. You still have to put the work in. We were talking about this over lunch at one point. You have to put the work in. You have to follow the process, do the testing, make sure you understand the strategy, and then you can expect exceptional returns. But to expect exceptional returns when you haven't got any knowledge in that particular industry or sphere is close to madness.
Maybe it's, desperation. Maybe there's people in quite bad situations and they're like, oh, I just need to put 100 quid in and then I'll get £30,000 at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
the last resort thing.
I think there is a lot of that. And unfortunately, if you're in that position, the worst thing you can do is just throw your money at something. You need to figure out a way of generating additional cash flow and getting yourself out of financial stress, because if you're in heavy financial stress, you're not going to be making the smartest decisions. So I think often they do rely on desperation. I think they often rely on people not understanding the way financial markets work, which is, again, a massive reason why education is so important. And I'm not talking just about STARTrading education. I'm talking about general understanding of financial worlds and how numbers work and things like that.
Cool. How else can we protect ourselves when we're learning to trade?
Well, another thing to definitely not do is approach the markets without any form of strategy. And this is, I talk to property investors a lot, and no property investor who knows what they're doing would just buy a random property in a random area without understanding what strategy they're using and how that strategy performs in the area that they're looking at. And it's the same with trading. You should not ever approach the market just hoping on gut feeling that you're going to make the right decision. That is not how it works if you want to be a long-term successful trader. If you want to have a lucky guess here and there, then you are actually gambling, you're not trading. Trading is about systematic processes that have been tried and tested into strategies that you can repeat and repeat and repeat. That's why star traders are consistently successful and profitable, because they're following a tried and tested system. They're following a strategy. They're not just basing it on gut feeling. So definitely don't approach the markets without a strategy in place.
Do people do this?
Yes.
Do they really?
Yeah, a lot of people. I've met people over the years who have literally spent years gambling the financial markets, thinking they were trading, but they have no system, they've got no strategy. And it becomes so obvious so quickly from just a couple of questions. So when I say to people who tell me they're trading, first of all I ask them, so what's your average percentage return? If they don't know the answer to that, then they just aren't trading categorically. If they do know the answer to that, they tend to say, I'm about break even. That's code for I'm losing money. They just don't want to admit it. And then you ask them a few more questions like, so what's your win-loss ratio? They don't know. What's the strategy you're using? What components? What indicator you're using? And they don't know. Well, sometimes I'm looking at this, sometimes I'm looking at that. If you're not consistently trading the same principles, the same processes, you cannot test what it is you're doing. And the reason our method is featured in Bloomberg is because it's so data driven, and we can only have that level of quality data because we're following the same step-by-step process each time. And when you have a step-by-step process, it's repeatable and it's teachable, and other people can master it as well.
And it works.
And it works.
It's doing great things for people.
Yeah.
Have you got any more tips of what not to do?
Yes. So third tip I would say is, what is my third tip? I've got a few little cheat sheet here. Yes, don't ever trade without safety measures in place. So again, when people are gambling, they don't really know what they're doing. They're not following a process. They aren't protecting themselves. And that is where people get into difficulty. That's where you find people say, I tried that once and it didn't work for me, so it's never going to work for you. I lost all my money. Well, how did you lose all your money? Because the STARTrading method, it's mathematically impossible for you to lose all your money.
Yeah.
Which is why we can give the guarantee that you're never going to blow an account if you follow our processes. Why? Because part of our process, part of our system is having risk methodology, it's having money protection in place, which keeps people safe. So never ever approach the financial markets or even get involved in financial markets if you don't understand how to protect the downside. Because if you protect the downside, you protect the risk, then you actually can maximize the profit potential as well. We were talking as well earlier about a new strategy that we're trialing, which is incredibly low risk but high reward, which this month has, what month are we in? February? Last month it generated about 30% just off of that one strategy. Yeah, really low risk, high reward.
That's huge.
Yeah, but we're not releasing that to the community yet. Why? Because we want to make sure it is tried and tested over a longer period of time than just 1 month before we start releasing it to our students and our members.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a few little bits about reducing the risk and putting things in place to stop yourself losing everything. Do you want to explain a couple of those things, like the risk percentage that we use and how we stop ourselves from losing everything, so that people understand? Definitely.
So there's we actually have about a 10-step process, but there's 3 major rules within that 10-step process. So the first one is you never ever place a trade without a stop loss. So when I say place a trade, I mean enter into the market. So we would never enter into the market without a stop loss. Your stop loss is an automatic order that when we place a trade, when we enter the market, it's automatically attached to our entry, and it says if the market is going to go against me, then I want to be taken out at this point. So I don't want it to go against me any further than this set point that I've already decided. So rule number 2 is that set point should never be worth more than just 1% of our entire account. So 1%, hopefully people realize that's incredibly low risk. And if we are risking 1%, then if our account is £10,000, I'm trying to do quick maths here, I use spreadsheets for everything, but quick maths, £10,000 in your trading account, which again, I'm going to say this, we don't start with that much money in our account. Maximum I want people to start with is 1,000, because you're going to make mistakes. Let's make those mistakes on a small amount of money. If you can start with anywhere from £500, then that's pretty good, but absolute maximum 1,000. But if we're risking 1% on a £10,000 account, that's only £100 we actually have at risk. And our reward, which is the third element that we're looking at in terms of our main 3 risk protection, money management protection stuff, is we want to be able to stand to make back at least the same amount of profit as we have at risk. So if we're risking £100, the minimum, absolute minimum we should stand to make back as a potential profit is also £100. And we call that risk to reward. So our risk to reward needs to be balanced, if not having our reward bigger than our risk. If our risk is bigger than our reward, no bueno, nicht gut. That's not what we want. We want to avoid that.
Yeah, and I think we were talking about on last week's episode when I was starting live trading and really feeling scared to press the button. And I was like, what if I get it wrong? What if I lose? And, you know, you just think of it in terms of 1%. It's 1% of my account, which is quite small. And I thought, okay, it's a few quid. I'm going to go for it. And it's really good.
Completely.
And now I've gone over the edge. I've taken the jump.
You've broken the back. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's really good advice.
And it's true. And that's why one of the elements of the STARTrading methodology, one of the 5 key points, is mindset mastery. And one of the ways we can really help our mindset is doing exactly that, reminding ourselves that our money management, our money protection system is only risking 1%. And that's part of the reason why we do that. Not only is it good practice and keeps us safe, it also allows us to be less emotionally charged. And what we want to do as traders is remove as much emotional charge as possible from our trading, because that is going to let us be the best traders that we can.
Yeah, and I guess it makes your trading quicker as well. Because if you didn't have those limits, you'd have to be watching it constantly, wouldn't you? But we just place it and leave it and
set and forget.
Yeah, amazing. Well, that's very good advice. Thank you very much for that. Do you want to hear about how my week's been?
Yes,
trading?
I do, definitely.
So I got over the hump. I am live trading and I'm trusting the process, and I'm really enjoying it. I've had a mix of trades, more wins than loses, which is really good. I'm getting into my routine. So I have my day. I might go on in the afternoon just to see what's going on.
Just have a little check.
And maybe flag a couple of things that might be happening. But I mean, you explained to me in one of the first episodes why we trade early or late, because it moves so much during the day. And I'm really seeing that if I'm looking in the afternoon thinking, yeah, that one, it will have changed. It could have changed completely by 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So that really makes sense.
Which I was going to say, in the nicest possible way, checking in the afternoon is kind of pointless.
Yeah, yeah. But it's new. It's novel.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm like, what's happening? How are all my little trades doing?
Yeah. And we all do that when we first start. I definitely did.
Yeah.
Especially because when I first started, I had the app on my phone. So especially if I was in a trade, I was like obsessed.
Yeah.
So I have to check it. How's it going? Oh no, it's going down. Oh, it's going up. Brilliant. Oh no, I'm trapped in this addictive cycle of just checking. So I actually had to delete the apps off my phone.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I was just going to be constantly looking at it.
That's very good advice. I did message Josh the other day. I was like, Josh, what do we do if we're in the trade and it's kind of not looking good? And should I just stay in it and let it go? Because that's what we're taught to do, but it kind of doesn't look good right now. He was like, what are you doing? We don't do that. Go and have a walk, take a fridge break. I was like, what am I doing? Why am I sat here looking at things?
So just in case people don't know, what's a fridge break?
A fridge break is when you just leave it. Just go and have a walk. Go to the fridge. I don't really know. Have
a little snack. It's a mindset break.
Yeah.
So if you're finding yourself trapped looking at the markets, because it can be a bit addictive, and because you're emotionally charged, aren't you?
Yeah.
Especially in the early days, you've not built the emotional calluses around your trading. It's a completely new skill set. So when you are more inexperienced on that level of your trading, you need to kind of take a bit of a step back, step away from your screens, go and check the fridge, have something healthy or have some ice cream. One of the two.
Yeah.
Keep yourself away from the screen for a little bit.
I just went out in fresh air.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? You don't need to do that. You've learned all the stuff. Just leave it.
Yeah.
Leaving it will do its thing. I'm also learning the second strategy.
Yeah.
Which is much easier, I think, than the first one. But I think the first one, you're learning all the basics and the fundamentals, and then the strategy, and there's all these criteria, and you're trying to test it, and it's a lot, and getting the first one is really good, and then the second one you've already got all the fundamentals for, so you're like, okay, I now just need to add this and this. And it's quite a nice strategy, and I think that the way that it works on the market movements, it could be bigger rewards. Is that right?
It is, yeah, that does. And you'll find in your back testing, again, if people don't know what back testing is, it's the way that we analyse and test to make sure that our strategies work. And you will find that as you do more back testing on that strategy, that you do tend to get better risk to reward. Yeah,
so I'm very excited about that one. And I think just generally I'm getting more confident looking at the charts, putting in my little lines and drawings and things, and the group coaching, I mean, I tell you this all the time, it's just really good. I don't want to finish ever. I want it to keep going, because every week, you know, Josh, the head mentor, pinpoint something else for you to look at,
Mm-hmm.
because there's quite a lot of moving parts, but once you've got one, he's like, this is great, you've got one, let's go on to the next one, and just pinpoints it and gets your skills kind of more refined each time.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. I think it's really nice.
Yeah. It's so important to not overload with everything you should be doing.
Yeah.
And if we tell people everything they're doing wrong on their first week, they're never going to make any progress. So it's so important to pick that one thing, you then master that, move on to the next, which is why it does take longer to master that first strategy. But like you said, after you've got all those foundations in place, so much easier to pick up the next one.
Yeah, and the teaching is good, the recognition and the pinpointing is good, but then the Discord community is really fun too, because there's different parts of it. There's beginners starting out, what's it called?
Still learning.
Yeah. And the questions that I was asking a few weeks ago, new people are now asking, and I can start helping them as well.
Yeah.
So it kind of circles back, and you can kind of really clearly see the learning curve in people, which is great.
Yeah. And it was very intentional for us to not create a frequently asked questions section. There's been a few times over the years that people have asked for frequently asked questions, and I've intentionally said no, because of what you've just described there. We are very much a community. The community can answer any question that comes up, and it allows people who are a little bit further in their journey to take a step back, see how far they've come by helping other people answer questions, whereas we would remove all of that if we had a frequently asked questions. So we don't do that, which people find a bit strange, but it's because we are creating and forming a community of people who want to help each other. And it's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. Someone put a question about the first strategy on what do you think about this, and I said, I might adjust it a little bit here, and they were like, okay, I'll try that. And then I was like, could you tell us how it pans out? I'm a bit invested in it.
Yeah.
So it is lovely. It's a really nice community.
Yeah, and they love a GIF. Absolutely love a GIF.
Yeah.
Particularly when there's winning trades.
Yeah. So I think that's all for today. Shall we give each other a gift?
Yes, let's go to our secret snack, surprise snack.
Surprise snack. Okay.
There we go.
I'm going to give you one, okay?
Okay, sure. Oh, I need to cover my eyes, don't I?
Yeah, okay. Ready?
Yeah. Oh, I hear a rustle.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
What can you see?
I do love these, So I can see quite a big bag. I don't think I'm going to eat all of these straight away.
I've been carrying this around London
Yeah,
for
you have. So this is not just any secret snack. This is an M&S secret snack. Salted pretzel sticks. A delicious baked snack made with the finest ingredients. Right, I'm going to give these an open. This is where we go into ASMR.
Yeah. So what do we think of a stick versus a fold? Is this just a lazy pretzel? Because no one's
I think it is a lazy pretzel, yeah. But I do like a salty snack, I do.
Yeah.
So.
Let's try. Why are you looking really intensely?
I'm trying to get it in the microphone.
Oh.
These are nice.
Mm.
I would be very quickly very dehydrated, though, if I was to eat a whole bag. Although I did eat a whole bag of crisps last night. Share a bag.
I'm thirsty already.
I'm thirsty already. Time for wine.
Mm.
No, but out of 10, crispiness is actually okay. It's not high crispiness. I would like it a bit crispier.
Ooh.
Saltiness, good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. And surprise?
Not that surprised. It's in kind of like the crisp family. But pleased.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 out of 10?
I think 8 out of 10. I like them.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
I really do like a salty snack.
Okay,
yeah,
lovely.
I'm a big fan.
Yes.
Cool, right. Let me find you one now.
Go on then.
Which one should we go for first? Oh, okay. I'm going to do this one. Right, 3, 2, 1. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you see?
I see a box that says Bliss
Yeah.
Caramel Crisp. 5 bars, salted caramel, only 86 calories.
Boom.
Wonderful.
I mean, I'm liking
What's
everything about
Bliss?
it. Do you know what's really
Have you
funny?
been to Lidl or Aldi or something?
No, but it was a discount branded store. As you know, I recently moved home, and our plumber, his last name is Bliss. What a great name!
You should get him some of these.
I should do.
Would you like to try one?
Of course. Salted caramel.
Salted caramel is the best.
It really is.
I feel like Lotus Biscoff had its day, and now everything's going salted caramel.
Although I do still love a bit of Biscoffee.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Oh.
I mean, I'm not ranking it. This is your turn to rank, but flipping heck.
I can't speak.
Now I know why it's only 86 calories, because you burn so many trying to get through it.
Wow.
Maybe we should cut some of this out.
So it's got a very hard layer.
Very hard
caramel.
layer.
Which isn't unpleasant. The taste isn't unpleasant.
No, the taste isn't unpleasant.
The texture is very surprising.
Hard work.
Yeah. It's a very hard caramel. It's not a soft caramel. I'm just going to pause eating it.
Yep.
Surprise. I'd say a 9. I've never seen this before.
Wow.
Taste.
Lacking.
I'd probably give it a 2.
Wow.
Wouldn't eat it again.
I was going to go for a 5. No, I wouldn't eat it again either, though.
Good surprise, though. Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.